Okay, everybody, so welcome to our last lesson on the Holocaust. This is the final chapter. So we're going to talk a lot about some kind of disturbing things, but also some things that are very important for you to know about the Holocaust. So our objectives and standards today to understand the difference between labor camps and death camps, and analyze the mistreatment and execution of victims of the Holocaust. Take a moment there to read over the standards, please. So concentration camps. So those Jewish who were not reached by death squads were taken from their homes, and they were put on trains or trucks and sent to concentration camps, which are basically labor camps. Um, they were used for, building bombs or other things, whatever the case may be. A lot of times, a lot of people died in these labor camps because they were overworked, or there was starvation or hunger. Or they could be sent to something called a death camp where they would work as well, but the main purpose of it was to pretty much kill you as quickly as possible, whether it be from overworking or through other means, which we'll talk about here in a minute. People were also jammed into wooden barracks that were overcrowded a lot of times, and like we said, hunger and labor were responsible for many deaths. So here we have an example I was just talking about. These are the barracks or the bunks that people would sleep in. You can see how tiny they are. You can see how many people they would fit into one kind of, I guess, row or rack of bunks here. But again, very overcrowded, very uncomfortable, and this is what they were people were put into. So the death camps. In 1942, Hitler's top officials adopted a new method to exterminate the Jewish, and because labor wasn't killing them as quick, or they felt, not to sound graphic, but they felt like maybe these death squads weren't being as efficient, they were being used for the wrong purposes. They looked for a new way to kill those they declared undesirable quicker. So the Nazis built 6 death camps. And each camp had huge poison gas chambers, that could kill thousands a day. And when these Jewish prisoners would arrive at these death camps, they were quickly separated into weak and strong. If you were strong enough, you were sent to work to do labor, or if you were weak, you were immediately sent to the gas chambers without any questions. You were immediately sent to the gas chambers and executed. A lot of times, many of them would walk into these big shower rooms, and they felt like maybe they were getting a shower, and then they would fill the room with poison gas that would kill hundreds of people in a matter of minutes. And there were other methods of killing as well. Shooting, hanging, poisoning, and even horrible medical experiments. They did horrible medical experiments on twins or people who had disabilities, children. Just a lot of horrible things that, in your worst nightmares you think about people doing to each other, and that's what they did. When I was in Europe, I actually went to Dachau, which was a concentration camp in Austria, I believe. And I saw some of the gas chambers and things like that. And it was an emotional trip. It was pretty emotional to be there and, think about what people had gone through in their final days or months there, or even moments. But many people did survive the terror. An estimated 6 million Jewish people died at the hands of the Nazis. There were others as well. Like we said, there were gypsies or mentally disabled, or just even people who were against the Nazis were executed. But some did survive the war, the terrible events, and they would forever remember what they experienced. This woman here, her name is Manya Kornbild, I believe. It's a little hard to see, but what she's showing you here is she has a tattoo. And it's a number that Jewish prisoners were tattooed with by the Nazis when they got to the concentration camps. And this is how they were known, basically as prisoners, not by their names. They were known as their numbers. So here's an example of, someone who survived the horrible things that went through the Holocaust. But again, many innocent people and many people in general died during the Holocaust because of certain policies and views that they weren't equal. All right, so please try your best on the questions that follow, and I will talk to you guys soon.